westcoaststyles.com. You see the initials right here on the hat. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's all about, West Coast. And I got a special guest in the house. I've got my friend, my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Annimeanz is in the house here. Welcome to West
What
Coast
up?
Styles again. It's been a minute since we've had you on. Probably about a year, I would say. Um, and you've been up to a lot of good stuff since then. Um, Man, I wish Don was here. Don's the homie, and he was gonna show up, um, but I don't see him. So we'll just go ahead and continue on. Um, Man, bro. So let's talk about what's going on. I mean, you have the O Side Vibes uh, EP that's coming out. Let's start with that before we get into all the other stuff. Um, Tell us about that project, man.
Um, Now for the most of my all my career, I've recorded all my projects in Los Angeles because that's where I'm from, born and raised. And I just I felt like I don't want to say I felt uninspired, but I felt like I wasn't my creative process there was starting to get stellar. You feel what I'm saying? So I just kind of had to get away from it and just find inspiration somewhere else. So my camera guy, which is Hip Hop Karma, he's from Oceanside and he has a studio out there.
Yeah.
Uh, So I said, fuck it, because I record with Rated TG. I've been recording with him since I was from Blue Division. And that's about 10 years plus. And even though he did mix and master the project, I decided to just go and record it somewhere else and just get a different feel, a new vibe,
Uh,
and just draw inspiration from somewhere other than Los Angeles.
yeah. What was the difference between recording in LA and recording in Oceanside? Did you notice any type of difference?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I didn't have to go to the studio with a gun every day.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Wow.
LA is that type of place. And just San Diego's just a different place. You know what I'm saying? It's a different culture. The street scene is just different. Um, I could say the relationships between blacks and Mexicans are just a whole lot different from the way it is in Los Angeles. Um, the girls are a lot different. You know what I mean? I fucking went and got a
Well,
San Diego girlfriend. Fucking just a lot of shit is just different. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different vibe,
yeah.
and it wasn't if I could keep it all the way real, I felt like I didn't really have to watch my back as much because I'm not from
Okay.
out. You know what I'm saying? So it was more. I was a little bit more comfortable. Not to say that it's not dangerous here because it is definitely dangerous, and they got some shit going on too. But I'm not from here, so I'm more of a spectator. So it
Yeah.
was it was cool to just let my hair down, so to speak. You know what
All
I'm
right.
saying?
So you didn't really feel that pressure, and you were able to relax a little bit more and
Yeah.
focus on the music. Focus on what about sound wise? What's different about this album
Um. I,
sonically?
there's nothing different as far as the sound, and because Lariano produced most of it, but the other production was done by a San Diego producer, which is Medicine Man, and they kind of got like a heavy Bay influence out here, so it's real heavy type shit. You know what I'm saying? So and it comes natural in the way they do their music, and so that I think that was probably the difference because when I usually record albums, I'm more of a boom bap type guy, and I just kind of dove into the funk sound heavy out here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. That's interesting because your past few albums they've all had like a distinct sound. Like for instance, you had the one with the rock, the bounce one,
Yeah,
crack rock bounce, crack rock soul. So these all had different sounds to them and different styles. Um, so that's why I'm interested to I've heard it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm sure that fans will be interested to hear you on some more funk type stuff.
yeah, nah, it was well, because that's our sound anyway, just West Coast in general. So it wasn't hard for me to like, get in tune with that. But like I said, that sound is prevalent out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And a lot of the local artists from San Diego, I've actually started listening to them too. Because like I said, I got a girlfriend that's from out here, and she's heavy into like the local music. So I started to kind of listen to their shit,
yeah,
and funk heavy. You know what I mean? So just getting into that vibe and shit, you know what I
hmm
mean, and being able to just kind of talk my shit. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
But it seemed like you were like kicking against the system there for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like you were like refusing to like go with the norm and trying new and different things. You know, like bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And soul and you know and some of the other projects had their own different styles as well. So, you know, you seem like the type that's always liking the like you like to you know to go against the grain. You know what I mean, so to speak.
Well, that has a lot to do with the stigma in the industry. They always talk about how Mexicans can't rap, or they always kind of refer to us as second-rate artists, counterparts. So it's always heavy for me to prove myself, so to speak, and show you different variations of me and what I can do and how I can run alongside your favorite rapper over whatever's current and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's always about me just really trying to prove a point and showcase that my talent is A1 and I can do it all. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm. But do you think in doing so, like let's say from the jump you were just making like the kind of music that's normally made out here, do you think that you kind of like took the long road? You know what I'm saying? Instead of like taking you know the shorter route. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely took the stairs. You know what I mean? But you got to understand that as a Mexican artist, you have to do that regardless because they don't, like I say, they consider us second rate to a certain extent. And when I say they, I mean the industry. So
Yeah.
that could be any that's industry. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's important for Mexican artists to go through the motions and prove themselves as real MC because
Yeah.
other we're just not getting that respect off the rip. I feel
Yeah.
like our counterparts, and when I say counterparts, I mean the black artists, I feel like they can come out and pretty much trend and it's going to be accepted. We have to fight and climb the wall before we can be accepted.
Hmm.
So I've always embraced that and just went full out and showed the motherfucker what I could do. You know what I mean? I've never veered from a sound and not to get it misconstrued because I don't want to sound like anybody other than myself. I
Yeah.
just bring my to what's hot. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm. Well, you know, you bring up some interesting points. Some of them, some of these points might ruffle some feathers, might get you know get under the skin of some people. But
Oh,
I
they
mean,
all the time.
but hey, but let's talk about it. I mean, you know, you bring up a point. Let's say like you know, a new Mexican artist starting out won't get the same attention as let's say you know an African American artist starting out. They'll immediately oftentimes they'll immediately get placed on shows and you know our outlets or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but being a Mexican artist, it's kind of like you know it's automatically overlooked.
Yeah, I do think it's getting a lot better though because we do have a lot of big rappers right now that are Mexicans. You got like Bravo the Bag Chaser, he's Mexican, Little Weirdo. You got Peso and Sway. Those are like younger dudes and they're starting to. I feel like we kind of laid the foundation for what they're doing now. You know what I mean? People like me, people like Omar Cruz, even though I don't fuck with him like that. We laid the foundation, and I feel like the newer dudes were able to, use that path and take it into a whole nother level that we necessarily didn't take it to. So, I do think it's starting to get better, but there's still a stigma there, and there's still a little bit of a wall to climb at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Well, you know, it's interesting because in LA, the market is Hispanic.
Yeah,
The majority, you know, I mean, you know, people that are listening to the radio stations out here are mostly Hispanic people.
yeah,
Um, Yet, despite all that, it's pretty hard for Hispanic artists to get on. You know what I mean? You know, despite the market, you think that with Hispanics being the majority out in LA, that there'd be more of an outlet to cater to us. I think you know.
Yeah, yeah, but like I said, the young to kind of break that stigma down. So I figure in the next 10 years, I don't think it'll be existing at this point because it's already starting to kind of buzz down a little bit. Will I ever see the accolades of it? Who knows? You know what I mean? But I'm definitely grateful and prideful that I was definitely a, a, a founder and a forefather in the new sound that is the Mexican hip hop scene. You feel what I'm saying? When I first came in the game, they wasn't spitting the way I was spitting,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, like I say, people like Omar Cruz, people like Smooth Hustle and Rob's One. He's starting to get his shine now. They just wasn't making music like us. You feel me? We were like we just weren't the norm. You know what I'm saying? So now, current day, I've been in the game 10 years, and I've been able to gain my own authority, but at the same time, see the younger dudes and just take it to a level that we hadn't took it to. So, I'm happy to say that I was definitely a part of the foundation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really think that anybody could deny that at this point.
Mm-hmm. Name some of the ways that you help change the genre.
Um, just not sounding like a fucking you just not sounding like a pony, or Little Rob and shit. When I came in the game, my 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 talent level was different and it had a different sound. And because of that, a lot of the swap meets and things that were housing the Chicano rap style wasn't taking our music. They wasn't taking the mixtapes, and they wasn't selling them because uh, for lack of better words, they just said that we sounded like black rappers, and they were
Mm.
only catering to a certain sound of rap that Mexicans made at that moment. So it was very hard to get attention. They wasn't booking us on shows. They didn't want to sell the CDs, and it was a struggle all the way down. I had to break down doors, and you know, early I got noticed by like Glasses, and then he brought me on, so that helped my attention to grow. And when I came home in 15 and I started my own campaign, you was alongside of me when that happened. The record on the radio and the touring and the mixtapes from the Cut A Dope Boy 1, 2, 3. That just started to change people's perception of not only how I spit, but that there's a different sound coming from the Mexican community other than, the conventional cholo rap. But like I say, there was other people that were doing it too. Omar Cruz and BYI, they have a big hand in it too. So and a lot of I don't want to say Texas rappers because they never experienced the struggle that we did out here in Cali and are still experiencing to a certain degree. So, it was just a handful of us that was spitting that revolutionary shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. What about sound wise? Like, I know you're talking about rap, but I think you were kind of instrumental in getting like the music side revolutionized as well.
Yeah, nah, it was a lot of boom bap influence early, like boom bap type, dark music, street shit. And at the time, the Chicano rap sound was like real G funkish, like but old school G funk, like fucking Warren G funk type shit. Not like the shit that's now, which like Mustard and them changed that whole sound. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I was more leaning towards like boom bap heavy shit with like 808 infused type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I yeah, that's where I think I contributed to the sound in that degree. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. But I think, but listening to your stuff, you had a lot of, you had some trap in it too. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, there wasn't really any trap type of beats, that Mexican artists were using.
Well, there was definitely soul sampled. So because trap is a variation of soul. So yeah, I was over a lot of soul heavy music, you know, but a lot of my influences came from New York, so I always had that keenship to like rapping over the soul samples and shit, you know. So yeah,
Hmm. Wow. Well, that's dope. Where do you see the genre going from here? Um,
I man, all the way up, bro, all the way up. You know, I know Peso and Sway are selling out shows. You know, I know there's a I think Bravo the Bag Chaser is going to be in San Diego sometime soon, and I think he sold out a show. So I mean, at this point, I think it's just going to keep evolving until where it's not even a question of whether you're Mexican or black anymore, because that's already happening. You know what I mean? I hear everybody listening to everybody at this point. You know, there's still a little bit of segregation, but it's away in full force now. So
mhm,
like I said, 10 years from now, this conversation will be, a thing of the past and a highlight of what used to be. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So,
So you
yeah,
think it? So
place.
in your opinion, you feel it's getting better?
Yeah, I definitely believe it's getting better in California as far as the local scene.
Yeah, yeah.
There's still doors that broke down as far as major labels, as far as Spotify placements and all that. But as far as just legitimate street heavy music, like we're definitely running some shit out there right now.
Hmm. Wow, that's pretty
You know.
dope, man. Um, hopefully, things can even get better. You're working with some hot artists right now, like the Blue Bucks Clan group. Tell us about that collaboration.
Um, well, they had came out to San Diego, and I think they were doing a show out there that got canceled. But my man, Hip Hop Karma, he had a plug to them for one of their, they had a liaison when they were down here, so he contacted their liaison and let them know that I was in the studio, and we just made the connection. They came down to the studio, and DJ heard what I was playing, and he was feeling the beat. He jumped on it, boom, and pretty much it was history from there.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that's how that went.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, 'cause he pretty much connected the dots on that one.
To me, that's an important one um, because that's LA shit right there. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying? It's
sure.
like you had Jay Hood from New York, from the East Coast,
Yeah,
come out. You collaborated with him. Mitchie
yeah,
Slick from San Diego. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And you had you had my boy from the Loonies, Yuck Mouth.
Yuck Mouth.
From
Yeah,
that's Bay Area shit though. But LA, you haven't really had any of the young upcoming artists from LA like really on your stuff. So I
yeah.
think that like that's really like an important collaboration. You know.
Oh, no, I did something with Gutter Gone too and shit. Shout out to Gutter Gone. He's a young boy out of Carson that's coming up heavy right now too. So
Okay.
he reach out to Gutter. I really like what he's doing, and he's another Mexican artist. You know what I'm saying? But he's in that wave that he's not having to really deal with the stigmas himself. So, I wanted to. It was important for me to collaborate with Gutter because not only is he one of mine, but he's very ill as well, and he got like a 1500 or nothing cosign, and he's just very talented. You know what I mean? And I put him on a record with Glasses, just to kind of show like new LA, old LA. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully this can lead to more collaborations. I know that you've reached out to other people, and hopefully they can start looking at you now and be like, hey, you know what? Let's work with this guy. I think that just by listening to your music, it should be automatic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're like, damn, this is dope. You know?
Yeah. Nah, if I can, I'd like to work with Game. Um, I'm definitely going to eventually reach out to either Peso or Sway at some point. Um, there's a dude in San Diego named TC4 that that they put me on in his shit, and I really like what he's doing. So at some point, I'm gonna reach out to him and hopefully get him on the record. And yeah, just like, staying tuned to the streets and what's hot out in the street. You know what I mean? I'm a street artist. You feel what I'm saying? I've always have been. Um, I've been involved in label situations like when I was with Division and when I was with Dollar Figure, but I've always been a street artist. I've never really been a commercialized artist or somebody who's had a lot of commercial success. But my tapes are heavy in the street. They were street, they were street supported, and so yeah, it's only right that I touch base with the street dudes. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what's next for you? Are you gonna facilitate new artists and be kind of like a facilitator and helping people come up? Or are you just gonna continue to just put out music and hit the streets hard?
Um, I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to put a label together, but that shit just didn't work, man. There's too many people that just feel entitled at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the artists that I was trying to help out, they just kind of thought that they didn't have to do the groundwork, and I don't have time for that shit. I ain't gonna lie, because I I end up beating one of them motherfuckers up. You know what I'm saying? Be real with you. I really don't have the time for it, and it really boils down to character, and it's unfortunate that there's a shortage of good character at this point in life. You know what I mean? In this era in time, you know what I mean? A lot of the old school morals in the street rules are not necessarily in play the way they once was when I was coming up. When I was coming up, honor and loyalty was a huge thing, and if you didn't have that, then shit could happen to you.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, there's motherfuckers on the internet and in the industry that are full blown snitches, and they're still being praised. So, with that type of atmosphere, it's not necessarily something that I'm interested in being involved in. You know what I mean? I'm not like an old ass man, but I'm definitely come from a different era with different ethics. And until I could find somebody that can match them type of ethics, I probably won't be helping too many more people anytime soon. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, you did have a crew of people around you that you
Yeah.
were helping out. But then it just seemed like little by little it just started getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
I mean, because the thing about it is like, when I was with when I was a part of Glass's team, I understood that he was the star of that shit, and I understood for me to survive, I had to step out of his shadow and build my own person, my own persona and my own character. I
Yeah.
feel a lot of these dudes, they want to be you, but they don't want to do the work to become who they're supposed to become, if that makes
Mm.
sense. You know what I'm saying? So they think because they're with you and you got certain cosigns that they're supposed to benefit from that. And then if they don't, then they feel like you're holding them back or you're trying to steal their shine. But Glasses never did anything for me. I mean, Glasses never took anything from me. He presented opportunity for me, and I, in return, went and prospered from that opportunity and worked hard to get the opportunities that I got. He never handed me nothing. He never spoon fed me at one point. Like we were talking about earlier, aside from K Boy, with his current success, I'm probably one of the only other members from Division besides the head of Division that became successful to a certain extent without Glasses. You know what I'm saying? Even though Glasses is my mentor and I come from his camp, I still was able to make the transition and create my own
Sure.
entity and success. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Sure. And I know what you mean by that is that even though he was the homie, you opened up your own doors for the most part, and your own, kick down the walls and so forth.
But not to take anything. He definitely put me in position and allowed
Yeah.
me to work the room, if that makes sense. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. But I think a lot of that probably also took a lot of listening, being quiet, watching, observing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being a loudmouth and being thinking you know everything. I
Yeah,
think that's
no,
probably I think that's what you from knowing the situation that you've been in with other artists. They probably had a really hard time trying to learn and thinking they they know it all when they don't know it all. You know what I mean? So
Uh, um, you gotta be a good soldier before you could be a good leader. That's just the
yeah.
reality of it. And yeah, you're right. It was class was in session when I was from division, and I stood there for 5 years, and I listened and learned, and from DJ head to glasses, everything they taught me, I learned. I put it into perspective, and I moved forward and created the sound with the tools that they gave me. You feel what I'm saying? And you're right, man. A lot of these dudes, they don't want to listen, or they think they know it all, and I think a lot of that comes with youth. You know, I guess when we're all fucking 21 years old, we think we know everything. Um, but that's where the real ones and the fake ones get separated. You dig what I'm saying? Because you know, to use this type of analogy, like you have to sell on the corner before you can start selling birds. You feel me?
Hmm.
And I feel like a lot of these dudes, they not cut out to sell birds. Just like in the streets, if everybody was selling birds, that everybody there wouldn't be an economy because everybody be a baller, right? Um, and most of these dudes, everybody want to be somebody, but they don't necessarily have what it takes to do it. So um, it's just a matter of time. You're gonna find out who's gonna run the race and who ain't, because the loudest ones in the room are always usually the weakest ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. All right. So when does the new EP drop for everybody to hear?
Um, well, shit, we did a non-exclusive label deal with SS Global. So and that's Tiffany Gaines' company. I don't know if you're familiar who she is, but she's doing a lot of big things. And so I just turned in the project today actually. So she'll be getting back to me pretty soon and giving me a release date. But I'm hoping I can release it on my birthday, which is on the 12th. And yeah, so if everything goes planned, it'll be released on the 12th. But this is the first time I've ever really dealt with a label to that extent. Where with glasses and division, it was a little bit more kind of like in home, and it was just more of a personal connection. And with SS Global, it's more of a label setting, where they have all type of artists,
Yeah.
and they have protocols and all kinds of other shit. So I wasn't necessarily used to that, because the project was done about a month and a half ago, and I was like, "Hey, well, let's go." And she was like,
You're ready to
"I'll
jump
work."
out the gate. Yeah. But you did release a video to one of the songs called "Lost,"
Yeah,
that features your homeboy Hip Hop Karma. You guys did a Scarface theme for that video.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah, yeah,
was real fun. I like doing that. It was really dope. I met some cool people too. Some of the chicks that came from, I guess they're from Oceanside and shit. So it was just a little vibe, you know what I mean? It was good people, and it was fun, and it came out dope, It came out really good.
hmm hmm good stuff. All right, brother. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss that we've
Oh
that we didn't
shit.
that
I
cover?
mean, I'm as soon as we drop this one, I'm gonna be back in the studio. I'm gonna work on the second installment of it. I'm gonna make it like a trilogy probably. So volume 1, 2, maybe 3. Um and just not, and I don't want to say that I'm not looking for artists, but if somebody talented and somebody that's worth working with comes along, then I definitely want to put them in position. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been having my label for a minute, and I've always been the leader of the ship. You know what I mean? And at some point, I got to sit back and get some R&R, so to speak. I've been going consistently for the last 5 years, constantly.
Yeah.
Um, and that should have taken a toll on you creatively. That's why I had to get out of LA to find a vibe. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm definitely looking, definitely would welcome somebody that can take the reins. But am I looking for them? I'm not necessarily looking for them at this point. But if I find somebody that's time worthy, then yeah, I would love to pass the baton, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, and just continuing to just build my legacy and shit, and bringing to the culture what I brought. You know what I'm saying? And just you know, um being able to see the people appreciate it, and you know, when I go out in the streets, when I'm in LA, people fuck with me, you know, they know me, and that's dope, man. So, you know, as long as I can keep contributing to the culture, I'm
Yeah,
gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but I definitely would love to maybe do some background work, you know, because I definitely have a talent for that too, you know, managing and shit like that. So, you know, you if God wills, you'll see me playing that part too. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah. You know, I think you have a talent for putting songs together and helping others put their songs together.
saying?
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And being able to like, hey, you know what? You know, producing basically. You know,
no,
not so much being a beat maker, but that's producing. That's the Phil Spector type of producing. He wasn't playing the instruments, but he was telling the artist, "Hey, all right, let's do it like this. Cut that out. Do the I mean, and arrange the song." And I
yeah,
think you have that gift of arrangement. You know,
yeah.
so
That's definitely in my bio. I'm an arranger. I'm a co-producer. I'm a writer, and I'm an artist. You know, I'm a vocalist. And you know, the Blue Bucks record, I actually produced it. You know, I arranged it and I produced it. I didn't. Karma touched the keys though. Hip Hop Karma touched the keys, but I produced and arranged that record. You know.
yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
brother. Man, I'll go ahead and let you get back to you know your to the business. But man, thank you for being our guest. You know, chopping it up and just talking about some of the things you know that are dear and you know I just kind of urge everybody. You know what, man? Listen to this shit. It's quality. I co-sign it. I stamp it. I stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't always put my name to just anything. You know, if I co-sign something or I really get behind it, that means I believe in it, and it's good. You know, because that's my
So,
reputation. So
because a lot of people don't realize that you're a big part of my career. Believe it or not, you know. From the LA Weekly interviews to everything I've done thus far, you've been very instrumental in it. And I thank you for that, man, because you know you've broken legends from fucking Kendrick Lamar to Schoolboy Q. You know your track record is very very illustrious, and I think you probably don't get as much credit as you should. So for you to believe in me and be a big part of my career is a blessing as well. You know what I mean? And I'll always be grateful for that, man, because you took my career to heights that I probably would have never seen without you, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
word up. All right, bro. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get back to your business. Thank you for being the guest, Don. You missed out.
Oh, and tell Chuck I'm waiting for him to do a write up on the EP, man. I need that. I need that all hip hop look. I need that write up. You know.
Okay, I spoke to
He,
Chuck earlier. I'm sending him the EP for him to check out. We'll see about getting
yeah,
another
yeah.
one for you on there. You know.
We had a good interview, and I know he was looking forward to the next project. So I'm gonna be waiting to see what he got to say about it for sure. I really like the critique. You know, I like to read what people say about what I'm creating. You know, I'm into. I guess I'm arrogant like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow. All right, brother. I'll go ahead and let you get back to your business, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, man.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, peace.